and with a big group of Brahmins. And so the Brahmins used to like to, have debates and so on, and ask questions of the Buddha. And the Brahmins, of course, are very proud on their knowledge of the Vedas. And most Brahmins are very knowledgeable with the Vedas and so on, and they like to debate and so on. But their actual practice of, meditation, they talk about preserving the truth. So, they're proud that the truth, the ancient truths are preserved in the Vedic texts. And so they memorize a lot of the Vedic text. And so they were thinking that the Buddha was not knowledgeable in the Vedic texts. I don't know how knowledgeable he was. But anyway, and I hope you're able to read the sutta. It's a fairly long sutta, but it's very interesting. So this group of Brahmins, they came to the Buddha and, were talking about their truths, and that their truths of the Vedas have been preserved for thousands of years and passed down. And then, so the Buddha, then the essence of this discourse was the Buddha outlines, that there is the preservation of truth. And basically that's book knowledge and memorizing the ancient texts and so on. And the Buddha said, yes, okay, you've been preserving this truth, but do you know what is the discovery about truth? And the Brahmins were saying, the discovery of truth? Master Gautama, please tell us about the discovery of truth. And I'm not going to repeat the whole sutta because I really want you to read the sutta itself, because it's very interesting the way that these dialogues take place. But anyway, the Buddha basically is saying that the discovery of truth is when one, takes those book knowledge or the teachings that they've memorized and examine them, and then actually practice them, and then come to the actual gain the jhanas or the insights that actually reveal the truth in terms of the conscious experience, not of book knowledge, but what the book knowledge is talking about. That means the transformation of the consciousness from a very ego-centered standpoint to a more open and a glimpse of the non-duality, or the glimpse of the absolute. And so the Buddha then just, says it's by practicing the Dhamma and visiting teachers and asking questions and examining the texts, and then actually practicing the various types of meditation that may be talked about in those texts. And then one comes to that point of a deep insight in which you actually discover the truth. It's like, let's say you had a treasure map, and there was a lot of clues and talks about where this treasure was buried, and people thought that they had all this information about where the treasure was buried, but they never bothered actually going after it. They just want to preserve these maps to the treasure. But instead, the discovery of truth is actually taking those maps and following the directions and then you come to the mouth of the cave, and you get a glimpse of let's say, a big treasure chest. Anyway, I don't know if that's an appropriate example or not, but so they discover the truth there in the fake cave. They finally discover this trove of jewels. But they haven't arrived at the final knowledge of truth. And then the Brahmins say, well, then please tell us how do we reach the final knowledge of the truth, the final arrival, how to reach the final arrival at truth. And that's when the Buddha then gives these 12 steps. And the Brahmins ask, what is most helpful for the final arrival at truth? And the final arrival at truth essentially is the attainment of arahantship, or what the Brahmins believe was the liberation from samsara, or cosmic consciousness, or whatever they were describing it as, the final arrival of truth. But none of them had ever reached that stage, the final arrival of truth. And of course, the Buddha had reached that final arrival of truth from, of course, the Buddhist point of view, the attainment of arahantship. That would be the final arrival at truth from the Buddha Dhamma point of view. But the Hindus or Vedas have some other terms for that, cosmic consciousness or mahasamadhi, or they have various terms. And whether that's the same as the Buddha's experience of complete enlightenment, that's for scholars to decide. But anyway, so after talking about there's preservation of truth, having a good book knowledge, then there's the discovery of truth, where you actually meditate. And from the Buddhist point of view, we would call that entering the stream. You've discovered the truth when you have that glimpse of nibbana, even if it was just for a flash. But you're totally convinced. You had a real glimpse. You discovered that truth, that it's real. It's no more just a book knowledge. Although you haven't arrived, you haven't fully implemented it and realized it 100% in your mind. And that's where you go through the other three stages of the once returning, never returning, and finally reaching the state of the arahant, would be the final arrival at truth from the Buddhist point of view. Now, these 12 steps are actually the way they are listed in the sutta. The Brahmins are asking the Buddha, what is most helpful for the final arrival at truth? And then he gives it in a certain order, but I'm going to start it in the initial order. It's the same 12 sort of steps. But, for anybody wanting to start practicing the Dhamma, these same steps, let's say a person, they hear some teachings of the Buddha, and they gain faith in the Dhamma and the Buddha, but they don't have any real experience yet, but they have some faith. And so that faith then motivates them to visit a Buddhist teacher, or visit a place where they can learn more, maybe from a meditation master, or from a teacher of that, not just having book knowledge. And then what is helpful for visiting a teacher? It's paying respect. So if you just go to the teacher and say, hey, tell me the truth, but you don't go there and, ask them politely, or maybe like the Buddhists do, they come, they pay respects to the teacher, and they sit, and then the teacher is then happy to explain the Dhamma to them. And then what is helpful for paying respect is giving ear. That means being open, not thinking you already know everything, but giving ear and being attentive to what the teacher may be saying. And then actually hearing the Dhamma. Because a lot of people go to Dhamma talks and they're watching their cell phones or texting, and they don't really hear what the teacher's saying, or their mind is, not focused, and, they're thinking about yesterday and tomorrow, and they're not really hearing the teaching. It doesn't sort of penetrate the fog of their consciousness. And then what is most helpful for hearing the Dhamma is memorizing the teachings. Once you've heard it, you've got to memorize them. Now people, they don't want to memorize. They just want to go on the internet and look it up every time, and not to memorize it. But it remains very superficial in the consciousness if you haven't really memorized it, to a certain extent anyway. So memorizing what you've heard. And then, after memorizing, you have to examine the meaning of it. So you hear something, but then you have to go home, or in your meditation, you contemplate, you think about it, you examine the meaning of it. What does that mean? What's the cause of suffering mean? What is the various things they talked about? So examining the meaning, but usually in meditation, where you have a clear mind. Not at the breakfast table drinking coffee and smoking a cigarette and trying to figure out what does that mean? No. It means through contemplation. And then reflective acceptance of the teaching, where by examining you gain you said, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like a person might not believe in karma. There's a lot of people nowadays, karma, what is this? Or they don't believe in rebirth, because they don't bother examining with an open mind. They're very closed-minded, so they just close it off. And so through the meditation, the examining of the meaning, and then you gain a reflective acceptance of the teaching by reflecting on karma, for example. That's one of the big ones. Go back all your life and all the things that you've done out of greed, hatred, and delusion, and see what kind of suffering it caused you. Or reflect on other people, and their karma always comes back to bite them and cause problems. So you gradually you gain a acceptance of that through that kind of examination of the meaning and reflective accepting the teachings. And that then gives you a lot of effort, because unless you accept the teachings and examine the meaning, you're not going to give the effort to practice. Because you sit down and, oh, this is too painful, I want to do yoga so I can sit without pain, I just want some instant, kind of thinking it should be happen. So you don't want to exert that zeal and effort to practice if you don't have that. Because if you accept the meaning and accept the teachings, then you've got no recourse but actually to start practicing it. And then the application of will. You have to apply your will. That means not to give up at the first onset of pain, and to persevere and to really want to make progress, especially in the practice of meditation, because there's so many obstacles that come your way, and so many types of energies trying to pull you away from that. And then that leads to more scrutiny and analyzing, because there's many levels and degrees of scrutinizing the teachings and analyzing, but that comes with meditation. All of this hinges on the practice of mindfulness and concentration. Because if you have a steady practice of meditation at home, then that's how each little degree of more concentration and awareness reveals subtler nuances and subtler dimensions of the teachings and the insights that you get from that. And then, and what is most helpful for all of that is striving. Again, the right efforts. The right efforts. Until one has, practiced, completed the 4 foundations of mindfulness and has overcome the fetters and reached those levels of realization to which one can then, say that one has finally, realized those stages of liberation. So this is what basically the Buddha was explaining to these Brahmins. And then at the end of that dialogue with them, they said, "Magnificent! Before we thought the disciples of the Buddha were these bald-headed recluses, were just shavelings and, kind of didn't know much. And now we've heard it right from the Buddha's mouth, and they became really, really like, impressed with the Buddha's teaching, and no longer had that sort of negative viewpoint about the disciples of the Buddha, that they had this knowledge, and they were able to explain it in such clarity. So those Brahmins then had become, had taken refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So anyway, friends, if you haven't read it, I really recommend, encourage you to read the sutta, because it's just the way that, I couldn't explain it. I haven't memorized word by word the sutta, but, I've known the meanings of the suttas, but I memorized it enough to give that general account of the sutta. Okay. So now, if any of you have any questions that you might like to ask based on any of that, I know there was quite a lot there, but some of you may have heard some of these things before in other, sutras or in other teachings, but so feel free to, it looks like there's nothing yet in the chat box. Okay, there's a question come up from one of our people who's staying here at the center. You had a question, John? It has to be a very short question, not a long question, because they can't hear you. What?
Moksha. I tend to remember that's one of the ways the Brahmins and whatnot refer to liberation. Something.
Yeah, okay. The question was, you read somewhere that the Brahmins, the goal of the Brahmins and the Vedic teachings is called moksha. And, it is. I mean, I know that too. And a lot of the questions, or a lot of people debate, is the moksha. Moksha means liberation. So it's their idea about being liberated from samsara, to stop the wheel of reincarnation and to become one with Brahma. I mean, that's the goal of, these Brahmins, or at least the way it's talked about. So the individual Atman gets dissolved into the Supreme Self or the Brahman. Sometimes it's called Brahman Nirvana, as opposed to the Buddha just called it Nirvana. He didn't use the term Brahman. And so that's why a lot of people sometimes get confused, or whether it's really the same thing as the Buddhist interpretation of nirvana, or the experience. Now, I'm not going to go into that and take sides, one side or another, and say it's absolutely not or not, because, I don't have that kind of direct knowledge to make these kind of assertions. But, the main criterion of the liberation is liberating the ego consciousness and liberating the mind from all of its defilements of greed, hatred, and delusion. And so, moksha, and so the moksha does mean liberation. So, did that answer your question, John?
Well, my question was actually, with that as a background, how did someone as profoundly clear as an arahant or a Buddha, were they able to make a distinction between the Buddha's understanding of what his teachings were to encourage people to do, and maybe a lesser level or less complete walking?
Well, anyway, I'll answer your question, because it came to me now, the difference. I don't think they could hear you, because could all of you out there hear that question he was asking? No, you're not. So anyway, see, the Brahmins, in my understanding, their goal was to reach the Brahma realm. And the Buddha taught how to reach the Brahma realm. It was by practicing formless jhanas, or attaining the jhanas and then reaching the Brahma realm. And so that is not the teaching of the Buddha. That is not the way to practice attaining Nibbana according to the Buddha. It's through developing insight and not through practicing the formless jhanas. So like there's formless jhanas, the seventh and eighth jhana is infinite consciousness and neither perception nor non-perception. Now people who reach those levels, they think they're enlightened because, their mind is full of light, and people that are born in those realms, the lifespan in those realms are like millions of years. And anyway, it's complicated. I'm not going to go into all of it. But there's another sutta that the Buddha, somebody went to the Brahma realm actually, and asked him how to reach the end of the world. And the Brahma actually told him, go ask the Buddha, because he wasn't sure himself. He thought he had lived in the Brahma realm all of his life, so he thought he was the creator of the world. But the Buddha debunked that. And because he had been in the Brahma realm so long, he thought he created it. Anyway, that's just a short little answer. So anyway. Okay, any last other questions? Okay, friends, so anyway, maybe read that sutta, maybe next week you might have some question on it. Any of those, those 12 ways, especially of having faith, visiting a teacher, paying respect, giving ear, hearing the Dhamma, memorizing the teachings, examining the meaning. And this involves meditation, developing gradually deeper levels of mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. You gain that acceptance of the teaching. like you go beyond your faith, unshakable faith. At the level of a stream winter, you go beyond any doubts that you might have had, and so on. Okay, so let's take a few minutes break, and then come back and do some yoga stretches, and then have our meditation. Okay, we'll see you back in a few minutes.
Bhante, question.
What?
Bhante, question.
Okay, last minute question. Dragon Yogi.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. um, the question was the step by step. I know we start with Sila. We start with, is that also included? We start in the step by step Sila, then the Samadhi, and then Panya.
Well, yes, that would be once you hear the Dhamma, memorize it, and then you have to start practicing it.
Mm-hmm.
And examining the meaning. As you practice Sila, you realize, or you try to meditate and you realize all these hindrances in your mind because of guilt, worry, remorse, and fear of breaking the precepts. And so you see, yeah, I can't meditate with that. So it encourages you to start practicing Sila.
Mm-hmm.
And as you start abandoning those negative actions, you see that your concentration improves because you don't have that guilt, worry, remorse, and fear, or worrying about you're going to get caught of having stole something, lied, cheated, killed something, abused somebody, all these things. This is what creates the hindrances. And so, so you're examining the teachings. Yeah, there's a purpose for following the precepts, and it's to reduce suffering. So you start accepting the teachings. Yes, that's the first stage of the Eightfold Path. Well, not the first stage.
Okay.
Right understanding is the first stage, and right thought, and then the practice of Sila, and right action, and so on.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a short break, come back with the yoga.
Sadhu.
mindset.
Friends, stand straight. Relax your arms at the sides. Gently close your eyes. Feel the feet pressing the floor. Try to feel the height and weight of the body over the feet. Just rest your attention on your eyes. And point down the eyes or feel the outline of the standing body. And begin some deep, slow breathing, three-part breathing, drawing the air from the lower part of the lungs up to the upper chest, holding the air in, developing this mindfulness, breathing in, letting go of the past and future, hold the air, breathing out, standing here and now. Feel the last bit of air go out. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we're going to combine this breathing with this movements. Doing the movement while breathing in, holding the air in the lungs, while you're holding that position, and returning to the starting point on the out breath. On the next in breath, raise the arms over the head, interlock the fingers, straighten the arms, stretch your head back, stretch upwards. In the out breath, release the fingers, out breath, arms back to the side, feel the last bit of air go out as the hands reach your sides. And again, in breath, stretch up, bend back a little bit, feel the arch in the lower spine, out breath, arms back to the sides, feel the air going out. Once more, in. Stretch up, bend back, hold it a little longer. Feel the sensation. Out. Relax, keep feeling the body, feel the increased life force sensation. Just remember the present moment of standing, letting go of your thoughts. Awareness centered in the body. Hold the outline of the standing body in the mind's eye. And the next in breath, lift up on the balls of the feet while raising the hands over the head in this way. Place the hands toward each other, stretch up. Out breath, arms back to the sides, the last bit of air go out. Use the in breath to help lift up the body, like blowing up a helium balloon. Stretch. Out. Once more, in. Keep feeling the body. Each exercise generates different sensations. Notice those deep level of mindfulness and concentration. Remember standing. Next we'll do side bending using both arms. On the next in-breath, raise both arms up. Keep your fingers and arms straight, close to the head. On the out-breath, bend over the right side. The arms parallel to each other like railroad tracks. In-breath, lift up. And bend over the left side. Out-breath. In-breath. And to the right, out-breath. In. Out. In. Once more to each side. The out breath over the arms. Close the eyes, keep feeling the body. You increase life force sensations. With the breathing and exercises, sending that oxygenated blood out to all the cells and tissues of the body. Awakening the web of awareness, the nervous system. So that your thoughts come and go in the back of the mind. Outline, sensation, body in front of the awareness. Next we'll do the squatting or the knee bending. On the next in breath, lift up on the balls of the feet again, raise the arms up front for balance. On the out breath, bend the knees and lower down. Down into the squatting position, again, balancing on the balls of the feet. deep breath. Feel the muscles of the legs pushing the body up on the balls of the feet. Then out breath. In. Out. Out breath, relax. Feel the increased heartbeat, other sensations. Standing. Don't give the mind time to get lost in thoughts. Body's always here, right now. Millions of cells vibrating, interacting. Keeping this body alive. Okay, now spread the feet apart about 3 feet. And then twisting from right to left, holding the arms out. Breathe in. On the out breath, twist to the right. Keep your eyes focused on the hand, going back. In breath, back to the front. Let your feet turn with the body, then twist to the other side. Out. In breath. Just keep alternating sides like that with breathing. Once more to each side. Relax. Close the eyes, feel each foot pressing the floor. Feeling the clothing touch the skin of your legs. With the arms and hands hanging at the sides. Clothing touching the arms and chest. Feel the head balanced on top, the eyes in the sockets. Feel any or all of those sensations. So you were looking into a mirror. Next, we're going to do the alternate toe touching. Again, holding the arms out. Breathe in. On the out breath, bring your left arm across and down to touch your right leg below the knee, as far down as you can reach even down towards the foot. And try to look up at your other hand over your head. Look at the palm of the hand. And carefully come up on the in-breath. Arm out to the side. The next out-breath to the other side. Right arm to the left knee, leg, or foot. In-breath, come up. Keep alternating sides like that with the breathing. Try to stretch a little further each time. Once more to each side. Hold it a little longer. Relax. Slow sensations. Now bring your legs back together. Standing straight, the head turning from right to left. On the in-breath, turn your head to the right. You have a stiff neck, just be careful. And look over your right shoulder. On the out-breath, turn the head all the way back to the left. Look over the left shoulder. In-breath back to the right. Concentrate into the neck vertebrae. Imagine feeling them loosening up. Out breath left. Once more to each side. In breath and stop in the middle. Keep the eyes closed, feeling the whole body. Another head and neck exercise. On the next in breath, lift the chin up, look towards the ceiling, and on the out breath, stretch the head further back. Look up the ceiling over your eye. breath, lift the head up. And get the chin out. On the out breath, press the chin to the little notch at the top of the chest. Stretch the neck vertebra. Lift the chin up. On the in breath, out breath, stretch the head back further. In breath, lift the head. Jet out the chin, out breath, press the chest. Once more, in, out. In, out breath. In breath, chin up level, out breath, relax. Feeling the body. Some cellular vibration, some extra pain. Okay, one last exercise, the sunburst, backward and forward bending. Hold the hands out in front, palms facing outward. You touch your little fingers together. On an in-breath, raise the hands up, level to your eyes. Begin spreading the arms apart, out to the sides as you bend back on the out breath. Keep your eyes open. In breath, carefully lift up, keeping the arms out at the sides. And the out breath, lower the hands down towards the floor. And keep your legs straight. If you can, let the little bones in the lower spine stretch out. Begin lifting up, turn the palms outward again. In breath, raise the hand up. Out breath, bend back. In, out. Once more, in, out. In. Third time, hold it downward stretch longer. Feel all the sensations, legs and spine. Bend the knees a little, begin lifting up. Breathe in, hands together at the chest. Out breath, hands to the sides. Close the eyes. Start to feel that organic aliveness. Body, cells of the body having been charged up with life-giving oxygen through the stretching, the breathing, oxygenated blood reaching most remote nooks and crannies of the whole body, mind, nervous system. feel as though you were standing on a vibrating machine. You feel the vibrations from the soles of the feet up to the top of the head. Present moment, body-centered awareness, natural awareness. Okay, let's mindfully come back to our seats, ready for the sitting. Put it on the lowest, the lowest. Try to get in a comfortable sitting posture. To try to sit straight, line the back of your head and spine in a straight line. You keep your chin parallel to the floor. Just gently close your eyes. Just feel the head balanced on top of the spinal column. Just feel your eyes in the socket. And take a minute to just move the attention downwards through the body, from your eyes. Feel the skin stretched over the front of the skull. Feel your lips touching together. Feel the shoulders, relax the shoulders. Feel the clothing touching the skin of the shoulders. Feel the hands touching together in your lap. Feel your fingers. And just remember that you're sitting, sitting, sitting. Now feel with your buttocks pressing the seat. Feel that solid contact of body to the seat. Try to feel the natural inward curve of the lower lumbar spine. It helps to support the weight of the upper body. And feel the way your knees are bent and your feet tucked underneath. Or if you're sitting in a chair where the feet touch the floor, feel your feet and toes. And keep remembering sitting, sitting. Now let the awareness kind of come back up through the body and rest on the eyes again. Just keeping the eyes closed. From that point down the eyes, sort of feel the outline of the whole body, all those different places, as though you were looking into a mirror. And then begin some deep, slow breathing like we did in the yoga session. Take 2 or 3 seconds to expand your abdomen, rib cage, and upper chest, holding the air in the lungs for 2 seconds. And on the out breath, feel the last bit of air go out of the lungs. Take several more deep breaths like that, developing this mindfulness. And breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we're going to count the breaths from 1 to 10 to develop a more continuous concentration on the breathing. I'll do the counting for you. Just try to follow that with your breathing and concentration. So with the next expanding in breath, mentally count to 1. Hold the breath a second. With the contracting out breath, also count to 1. Feel the last bit of air go out. The next in breath, 2. Out breath, 2. In 3. out 3, in 4, out 4, in 5, out 5, in 6, out 6, in 7, out 7, in 8, out 8, in 9, out 9, in 10, out 10. Feel the last bit of air go out, then don't try to breathe in again. Just let the pause be a little longer. Just let the breath come back in on its own. And continue to follow the breathing moment by moment. Discontinue the counting. Let the breathing return to its uncontrolled or shorter rhythm, irregular rhythm. And continue to observe it, to feel it. Try to be like a scientist looking down through a microscope, observing shorter breath. Just knowing when the breath is coming in. Feel the brief pause. Knowing when the breath is going out. Feeling the brief pause after the out breath before the next in breath. To help stay focused and remember, you can use these brief reminders of in, sitting, out, out, sitting, just over and over and over again. In, sitting, out, out, sitting. Just tuning into the 4 phases of each breath cycle. The expanding in-breath and the brief pause. The contracting out breath and the brief pause. breath by breath, moment by moment, in sitting, out, out, sitting. It's the ongoing, continuous connection to the present moment, this breathing body. This breathing body is the mind's natural connection to the present moment. If we lose that connection to the present moment, the mind either starts going to sleep or getting lost in thought. You just keep remembering in sitting, out, out, sitting. You can try counting your breaths again by yourself from 1 to 10. See if you can make it from up to 10 breaths without the mind getting lost in thought. If the mind does get lost in thoughts, start the counting again at 1. So it's a challenge not to lose your concentration. Just let your thoughts come and go in the back of the mind. Just keep the breathing body in the front of the awareness. In sitting, out, out, sitting. Especially be alert to feel the brief pauses between each breath. Sometimes those pauses may be longer or shorter. you have difficulty feeling the breathing, do some more deep, slow breathing. Feel it more dynamic, expanding and contracting. In, sitting, out, out, sitting, breath by breath, moment by moment. If you get carried away in thinking, recognize it as thinking, thinking, or lost, lost. Coming back to the breathing. Just keep turning up the power of the mental microscope to notice more and subtler details, sensations in the breathing body, noticing subtler thoughts, mental activity moving in the back of the mind. In sitting, out, out, sitting. From time to time, take a few deep, slow breaths. Help keep the blood oxygenated. Help stay awake, centered in the body. Tuning in to the present moment flow of awareness. Feeling all the different sensations, the flow of impermanence, of all these changing sensations, thoughts coming and going, staying connected to the breathing in the middle. Breathing is the lifeline to the present moment. Keep the mind relaxed and steady amidst of all the impermanence, changing body sensations, sounds, thoughts. Examine the meaning of impermanence. Examine the meaning of no self or suffering. Breathing in, sitting. Breathing out, sitting. So many different sensations coming and going. Thoughts coming and going. Sounds coming and going. Thoughts of I, me, or mine come and go. These are all just a continuous flow of change and impermanence of the five aggregates of body and mind in their natural course of impermanence under the power of their conditioned karma. It just does it by itself. Try to examine the meaning of that, scrutinize it. If you have a good awareness of impermanence, just try to become like an empty house with nobody home to answer the call, knocking on the doors, windows. There's just a sensitive microphone in the house that knows but doesn't know. You catch the mind lost in thoughts, recognize it as lost. Take a deep, slow breath. Bring the mind back into the body. Back to in, sitting. Out, out, sitting. Okay, now let's spend the last few minutes of the meditation by shifting our attention to cultivating thoughts of metta, loving friendliness, best wishes to our own body and mind, and radiating that outwards to all other beings. Again, taking some more deep, slow breaths. Just keep observing your body and mind sitting there. You take a deep breath, hold the air in your lungs for as long as you comfortably can, and try to imagine and feel that oxygenated blood cruising through the whole body, mind, nervous system, charging it up with life-healing awareness energy. And on the out breath, just imagine the whole body and mind just relaxing more into the present moment while cultivating this train of thought. May I be well, peaceful and wise. May I be free from excessive attachment, greed, anger, confusion, hatred, fear, ignorance. May I be free from the pains and sufferings of body and mind brought about by such unskillful thought, speech, and actions. May I have the patience, strength, mindfulness, and wisdom to meet and overcome all difficulties in life. May I be able to continue to deepen my practice of meditation and understanding of the Dhamma, to help free the mind from self-created suffering, making steady progress on the path to final knowledge, liberation. May I be well, peaceful, and wise. Still try to continue some deep, slow breathing, and with each out breath, imagine sending these same thought vibrations outward to all the people you might live with, people you see every day at work or in shopping or other places, just ordinary folks that are working and toiling to make ends meet, encountering all kinds of problems, especially in these changing times. May all of them be well, happy, and peaceful, free from greed, hatred, fear, and ignorance, free from the self-created pains and sufferings of body and mind due to such unskillful, unmindful thought, speech, and actions. And if they haven't already, may they also have the opportunity to hear the teachings of the Dhamma and to learn and practice meditation, to help free their minds from self-created suffering. May they be well, peaceful, and wise. If you can, still continue with deep breathing with each out breath. Just imagine these same metta vibrations going outward in all directions, across the fields, valleys, to the towns and cities, across the whole country, across the oceans, and eventually to surround the whole earth with the thoughts and vibrations. May all living beings, whoever they might be, living near or far away, rich or the poor, strong or the weak, famous or the obscure. May all living beings be well, happy, and peaceful, free from greed, hatred, fear, and ignorance, free from the self-created sufferings of body and mind due to their unskillful thought, speech, and actions, and through the interactions with others. May all beings have the opportunity to hear the mind-healing teachings of the Dhamma, and to learn and practice meditation. To preserve the truth, to discover the truth, eventually, finally arriving at the final truth. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. Just like a mantra reverberating throughout space. Well, peaceful, and wise. Now to finish the meditation, I invite you to join in chanting the word sadhu 3 times slowly. Do that chanting on a long out breath. Feel those vibrations in the body and mind. If you like to put the hands together at the chest, you can. Take a deep breath. Sadhu. Breathe. Sadhu. Breathe. Sadhu. And mindfully place your hands at the edge of your knees. Take one more deep breath as you breathe in. Stretch your head back. Pull the hands against your knees to arch the spine. Look up at the ceiling. Feel the sensation. And lift the head up, and on the out breath, press the chin to the top of the chest to stretch the neck vertebrae. And lift the chin up level on an in breath, and on the out breath, relax, put a smile on your face. Okay, friends. I hope you're able to have some good minutes of some good awareness, concentration, developing some insights, deeper understanding about the mind. So try to keep up your meditation practice. Also doing the M&Ms every hour during the day to stop what you're doing, pause for 1 minute, bring your mind back, take a couple of deep, slow breaths, touch base with the vibration of the present moment. Okay? So until next time, be well, be safe, be mindful, be wise, and Namo Buddhaya.
Gratitude, compassion, and appreciation. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And happy Easter comes up next Sunday. Try to examine the meaning of Easter from a Buddhist point of view. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Bhante.
you.
Namo